Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. I'm Skills and we're playing Skylines II. I got a bit of a different episode for y'all today. A while back, someone asked what my mods list was, and so for this episode, I want to do a lightning round of my top gameplay mods. I'm going to group them in 3 tiers: my must-haves, my should-haves, and then my nice-to-haves. And I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to do 60 seconds or less for each mod. And I'll give a brief description, maybe a quick demo, and then say why I use them, why I like them. So yeah, without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's start with our must-haves, and coming in first is Anarchy by yenyang. Anarchy lets you bypass the game's strict object validation when placing props or buildings or roads. A lot of times you'll see a warning like overlapping items where you can't place a tree in this narrow stretch right here or on the road. So you turn Anarchy on by pressing this or hitting Control A, and boom, you can place this tree wherever you want. It will not throw a warning. It's also great for crazy intersections. If I turn Anarchy off and I want to create a tight intersection there, you can't. Overlapping items. You turn Anarchy back on and boom, you can have as tight an intersection as you want. So yeah, Anarchy really unlocks a bunch of gameplay methods for detailers and network managers alike. Okay, our second must-have mod is Extended Road Upgrades by ST Apps, and this was painful when PDX mods launched without this. I've just gotten so used to it from the Thunderstorm mod, but basically this mod lets you place key walls, retaining walls, tunnels, and bridges without having to mess with the terrain. So as an example, my entire port side here was placed with Extended Road Upgrades. All you have to do is place down a road anywhere you want. Then you go to this tab, Road Services, and these options now let you automatically toggle key walls, retaining walls, tunnels, and the like. Another great benefit, if you see something like this where the terrain is kind of warped by something sloping down to the ground, you can go to your key wall tool, upgrade both sides, and there you go, the terrain is now flat. I could even do it over here, but I'll leave that off for now. Our third must-have mod is Find It by TDW, and yeah, it's a must-have for detailers or anyone who wants to place objects manually. It has extensive search and filter functions, and these icons just make it so easy to preview what you're looking for. You can even shrink this panel, and then filters include, view style, lot width and depth, building level, the themes. You can search for props, vehicles, you can even favorite stuff. So for example, if I want to add a gazebo to this park right here, all I have to do is open up Find It, type in gazebo, and it's super easy to find. Our fourth must-have is the Line Tool by Algernon. And honestly, this should just be part of the base game. But Line Tool lets you pick trees or any props really. You go to line mode, you can put objects in a straight line, you can configure the spacing if you want to go down to, let's say, 10 meters. You can randomly rotate them to give a more natural look. You can go to fence mode so you know exactly where and when the line will end. You have other options up here, and you can, again, do this for any prop or building. And so yeah, this should really be part of the base game, but because of that, it is a must-have mod. Okay, number 5 is Move It by Quboid. Players rejoiced when they saw this mod in a preview for the PDX mods, because Move It lets you move anything with absolute precision. And it has features similar to Node Controller from Skylines I, if you're familiar with that, where you can adjust like the angle, the size, the elevation of individual nodes or intersections. And as the latest version, there's a nice UI right here. We can toggle between single mode, marquee mode, where you can select multiple items, or manipulation mode, which lets you adjust the angles and stuff of intersections. So as a demo, single mode, I'm just going to click this building and I can drag it and move it precisely. Manipulation mode, you find the intersection, for example. I'm gonna click this, and then if I hold down Alt, as I drag, it'll stay in a straight line, and then boom, that crosswalk is now nice and straight. So yes, Move It is a must-have for detailers especially, but really anyone if you want to move objects manually. Our last must-have mod is Whiteness Toggle by Daniel00001. And this is, another absolute mod if you can't stand how the game goes white when zoning or placing a service building and you can't see anything. So to toggle this, you turn this off, hit Shift W, and then turn it back on, and boom, you can now see anything and everything. And yes, this was previously part of Legacy flavor, but I think Whiteness Toggle is kind of the successor since that mod has kind of gone on the back burner. We're now moving on to our should haves mod, and the first one is 529 tiles by Algernon. This does exactly as it sounds. It opens up all 529 tiles that you see here, as opposed to the vanilla game's 441. So yeah, more area to play in. There's also options to toggle where you get tiles and when. So for example, all at once, at the start of the game, at the final milestone, or more at each milestone. And those can be configured in options, 529 tiles right here. But yes, thanks to Algernon for another awesome mod. Our next should have mod is Better Bulldozer by yenyang. And honestly, this might have been a must have mod. But this one adds a lot of flexibility to bulldozing tool. You can bulldoze invisible paths, like, where is it? Here we go. Like if you place down an invisible pedestrian path or a parking lot road like we did over here. You can bulldoze individual props on buildings. For example, yeah, this AC unit, or my favorite, removing kind of cheesy billboard ads. If a car gets stuck and is blocking traffic, you can delete the car. And then my favorite, you can remove surface elements, either custom ones you place or ones that come built into props like this. Okay, next up we have the extra detailing tools by Triton Supreme. And if you are a detailer, this might be a must-have, honestly. But this mod was part of the awesome Extra 3.0 suite that lets you place decals, net lanes, and surfaces anywhere you want. You bring it up by pressing this icon right here, and then yeah, we got decals, and some of these are provided by third-party mods. Surfaces like our tiles, our pavement, even wood, and then yeah, net lanes like fences or road marking tools, which have been really helpful. Even cooler, it lets you transform the position and rotation of custom objects. For example, this tree, I can change its elevation and its rotation, and this is actually how I built the Space Needle in Dewey Harbor. Last, it adds the ability to snap to the surface of an object, which is perfect for decals right here, where you want to snap to the side of a building. But yes, extra detailing tools by Triton Supreme, excellent mod. Following up, we have the extra landscaping tools, also by Triton Supreme. This one lets you place natural resources anywhere you want. So for example, if you open up here, we go to our terraforming tool, and then here you go, these four options: ore, oil, fertile land, and groundwater. Let's say I want to extend this groundwater deposit. I just click and drag and boom, I can place a groundwater pumping station there now. It also adds options to the brush tool. So if we open up our vegetation tab and we go to our brush mode, here we go. We can change the size, the strength, the rotation. It also has different types of brush in case you want to do weird shapes or peak or mountain, something like that. Yeah, so there you go. See, it's not a circle anymore. It's if you want to do something more realistic with your terrain or your forest brush. Our next should have mod is Extra Networks and Areas by Mimonsi. This is a nice UI for placing invisible paths like pedestrian paths or roadways, or if you want to do custom parking lots, this invisible 2x2a 2x perpendicular one. These are available in the dev UI, but this just kind of adds a nice wrapper for it. You can also do spaces in areas like parks areas or gym park areas, though to be honest, I've never seen them work in action. But yeah, these are available through the dev UI, but this mod is a nice UI wrapper for them. Number 6 in our should-haves is Plop the Growables by Algernon. So this one lets you freely place buildings outside of zoning tiles, so no more worrying about broken grids. You can literally plop a building down anywhere. So for example, if we use the Find It mod to get a regular building, let's do, sure. See how these tiles are kind of broken? Normally you would not be able to zone on the corner here, but with Plop the Growables, you can place it and it will not break. You can also lock the building level, kind of like using historical mode from City Skylines 1. But yeah, if you're a detailer, this is an awesome mod. Next up, we have Traffic by Kurju124. No idea how to say that. But Traffic is the spiritual successor to TMPE from City Skylines 1. And it's a little limited right now, hence me putting it in the should have column instead of must have. But its main benefit right now is controlling which lanes you can connect. So for example, you activate it by pressing this traffic cone icon, then selecting your intersection. And let's say I want to remove this tight curve right here. I click this, click that, and boom, the wear and tear line is gone. But hopefully soon we'll have more fine-grained intersection control, like maybe timing lights and whatnot. But yeah, excited for where this mod goes. Another great mod by yenyang is Tree Controller. And so this mod adds some quality of life features to trees and plants in game. It lets you select the type of tree, the colors, and most importantly, where it is in its growth cycle. So if we bring up our vegetation tab, here you go. You can select the age, which means you no longer have to wait for trees to grow, and that is huge. It also adds the forest brush tool, so you can blanket an area with a few variety of trees. Yeah, if you have like sets like this, so you can place a few trees at once without having to do one at a time. But yeah, combined with Anarchy, this is a huge win for detailers who want to place fully grown trees close together to create a nice park effect or a big forest. Once again from yenyang, we have water features, and this one took me by surprise just by how cool it is. Water features exposes tools for creating streams, rivers, lakes, and oceans in your map. You open it up by going to this tool, the water tool tab, and let's say we want to create a small lake. I'm going to depress a hole in here, select my lake tool. I'm going to right click the elevation I want the water to rise to, then left click, it'll create a spawn point, and that water will fill up the lake to that elevation and it won't dry up. You can do similar things with streams and oceans, and so this is definitely a big win for map creators, I'm sure. And a fun fact, this is what I used to create that small pond in my Dewey Harbor golf course. Another awesome mod from TDW is Zone Color Changer, and this one is excellent for my fellow colorblind people. It does just what it says. It lets you change the color of zoning tiles. Click on your zoning tool, go to here, edit zone colors. My favorite feature of this is that you can change the fill opacity of empty cells, which is how I got this transparent effect right here. So combined with the whiteness toggle, you can finally see what you're zoning and what you're placing down on the ground. And last on our list of should have mods is Zoning Toolkit by ZShinabid94. I almost put this in the must have column, but I find I don't use it as much as I thought it would, mainly because its UI is a little janky. But the Zoning Toolkit lets you change which sides of a road have zoning tiles, if any. And so this is great if you're trying to control where tiles appear and how they group together. For example, you can actually toggle tiles on existing roads by going to here, click None, Zoning Tool, and then click the button. And you see how like the tiles shift away, so buildings will not face this street anymore unless you use Plop the Growables. It also works if you want to build a new road. So if we extend this alleyway out, you can see there are no zoning tiles on it, which is great if you want to create a realistic alley. And last on our list are the nice to have mods, which yeah, they're nice quality of life improvements, but they're not necessarily deal breakers if you don't have them. The first one is the Extended Radio by Triton Supreme, another great mod by Triton. It adds some goodies to the vanilla radio player and lets you add custom radio stations. And my favorite are the city planner radio stations for sure. It remembers which radio you used last. So when you boot the game, if you're on Capital Radio, it'll load this one. And also lets you toggle, ads, lets you go in between songs. So yeah, really improves the radio in game. Our next nice to have mod is Extended Tooltip by Mimonsi. This one exposes information when you hover over an object. So you can see that there's a high school, it's got 16 employees, only 32 students, but it also shows things like economy information, land value, profitability, what it sells, rent, and my favorite, it shows the theme and type of building. So you can see that this is a North American residential medium in case you want to build a neighborhood that is all the same theme and type of building. Or under roads, you can see its length is 1 kilometer and how much it costs to upkeep. And wow, I need to get a road condition overhaul very soon. In a recent update, it also lets you toggle between meters or yards and units when building networks, which is kind of helpful if you don't want to deal with a bunch of meters. That used to be part of the Legacy Flavor mod, but I believe that mod has been put on the back burner. All right, coming up next is Historical Start by Algernon. So Algernon strikes again. Basically, it unlocks trains, shipping, and natural resource industries at the start of the game because that's how towns historically started. So all of our Santa Ana farms, our Sierra Industries, and our custom train station, that would not be possible when I started Dewey Del Mar at the start. It unlocks all of these from the start, as well as a bunch of train props. And so yeah, if you want to build a historically accurate city, definitely get Historical Start by Algernon. Okay, my next nice to have is Lumina by Nyyoko. This one lets you tweak the game's visuals by pressing this pyramid icon, and here you go, you got post exposure, tint, shadows, a lot of stuff that you would find in photo mode, except they persist after you close it, unlike photo mode. Another cool thing is you can export all of the settings that you've placed in photo mode to your Lumina profile, and then those will persist in game. So yeah, if you're looking for a nice visual mod, this is a good one. Up next, we got Map Texture Replacer by Cgameworld. So this is a powerful one if you want to tweak the sometimes bland textures in the game. You can replace grass, dirt, cliff textures with either like a local PNG or map texture packs found on PDX mods. So my go-to, which I have activated right now, is Volcharia, but I can go back to the default and you can see that the colors and textures there changed. So yeah, browse PDX mod for a bunch of other map themes that make your game look great. Okay, number 6 on our list of nice to haves is School Capacity Balancer by Wayz. If you don't want to place 1,000 elementary schools in your small city of 1,700 people, then yeah, get this mod. It does just what it says. It lets you tweak how many students your schools can hold. And yeah, I mostly use this for elementary schools since for whatever reason, you need a bunch of those in this game. But you activate by going to Options, School Capacity Balancer, and here, you can tweak all the levels for each type of school. Our final mod is Weather Plus by Daniel00001. So this one just adds a nice UI for controlling the weather in-game. Nothing that you can't do without dev mode, but you know, it's a nice layer of convenience. So you go to Options, scroll all the way down to Weather Plus, and then here you can change the time or different weather settings. So I want 0 precipitation, for example, or 0 cloudiness. Yeah, this is just a nice UI. Okay, and that about does it for my list of must-have mods, should-have mods, and nice-to-have mods. If y'all have any suggestions for other ones I should try, or if you disagree with where I place some mods, let me know in the comments. But yeah, until the next episode, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you then. Bye.